Back to the State of the Union and the president's comments on the crisis at the southern border. The president devoting about 1 minute and 20 seconds to the border crisis during his 73-minute speech.
Joining us now for more is Border Patrol Union President Brandon Judd, who was at the State of the Union last night. Brandon, you were there. What is your reaction to what the president said?
It was underwhelming for the American people, and it was maddening for Border Patrol agents. When you listen to what he said, all he did was pass the buck. He asked Congress to pass laws, which we all know isn't going to happen. He knows it's not going to happen. The partisan gridlock in Washington, D.C. is not going to allow for immigration reform, and it shouldn't allow for immigration reform for what they're asking for. They want amnesty for all of the adults who knowingly violated our laws by crossing our borders illegally. That's not going to happen. So he knows it's not going to happen. But what is the reason why it's so maddening for Border Patrol agents is because we all know that he has the authority to implement executive orders that would solve this issue tomorrow. President Trump did that. President Trump tried to work with Congress. They wouldn't work with him. So he used his executive authority, and we solved the immigration problem. President Biden can do the exact same thing, but he doesn't want to because it's not politically expedient for his base.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, 1.5 million gotaways under Joe Biden, 4.5 million illegal crossings under Joe Biden. Take a listen to what Biden had to say last night when he actually mentioned the border. It was interesting. I don't know if you could see it from where you were sitting. He made Kevin McCarthy, Ted Cruz, many Republicans laugh.
American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to provide the equipment and officers to secure the border. And a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Here in the People's House, it's our duty to protect all the people's rights and freedoms.
All right, so Brandon, you were there. You were in the room. Did this seem like a pivot from the administration, or was this just empty political rhetoric from a guy who's running for president again in 2024?
That was rhetoric and nothing more than rhetoric. What he's trying to do is he's trying to appease all those that are uninformed about what's currently going on the borders, trying to allow him to give him time. And that's the problem. When you hear Vice President Kamala Harris saying that they're going to send money to other countries to help build businesses, everybody knows that that's going to take years. And all she's going to say is, well, give us the time, without solving the problem tomorrow. We could solve this immediately. It's like a light switch, the proper programs, and we could solve this problem. And they have the authority to do it. They just won't do it. If he wanted to solve the problem, he could solve it tomorrow.
Yeah, Brandon, it just seems, into listening to his speech and even before the State of the Union, he's blaming Republicans. He's saying, you know, if Congress would just give us more money, just like you mentioned, the vice president saying, we just need more money to go to these countries that have the highest border crossings. But the solution, everything was different when President Trump was in office. So why do they keep placing the blame and asking for more money?
Well, and let's be clear, all more money is going to do is going to go to enrich the cartels. Everybody knows that these governments are extremely corrupt. All you have to do is look at Mexico. Mexico is extremely rich in natural resources. There's an awful lot of companies that could thrive in Mexico. They can't do it because of the corruption that exists. So if we throw money into that, all we're doing is enriching the cartels. That is not the right way to do it.
Right.
We've learned over and over and over again that we can control what happens here in the United States. We can't control in other countries. Let's solve the problem here. Let's not worry about what's going on in other countries.
Brandon, I just want to get your reaction to Republicans booing Joe Biden when he finally addressed the fentanyl crisis in this country last night. Take a listen, and then we'll get your reaction on the other side.
Fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year. You got it.
What was the feeling in the room?
They're right. It is his fault. That's exactly what I was thinking. He caused this problem. He's the one that gave us the most insecure border in my lifetime. And that's why we have such an increase in fentanyl right now. That's why we have the deaths. Again, it could stop tomorrow. He just doesn't have the political will. He's trying to deflect and blame other people. And that's what this administration has done over and over and over again. Biden never takes responsibility for anything that he does, and he's not taking responsibility for that issue as well.
Brandon Judd, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks so much for breaking that down.